Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I back up once again by Jake, Austin, and Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
Hello.
What's going on, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is round 2 at our past locals. We got Fluff versus Jake. We got Syn versus Great Ape Goku. I was gonna say Kid, but that's its own variety of decks. So buttons down below. Feel free to comment for different reason. Let's get into today's matchup, guys. Let's talk about your decks.
So, this yellow Goku list that I'm playing, you guys probably saw Nick playing his version last week on the channel. And him and I kind of went into the tank one night this week. I think we were up till like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, just doing a couple of playtest games. And we really worked on this list. And we got it to a place where I think it's pretty powerful. We've cut down a little bit on some of the engine in order to get some more good yellow tech into the list, and I think it slowly but surely it's finding its place in the metagame.
The thing that I really like about the Goku deck is there's not one thing that it does that is oppressively powerful, but as a cohesive unit, it's just solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've played against it quite a bit against Nick in testing, and it's just strong. It's consistent. It's strong. It doesn't have a big power burst. It's just I just feel like it's consistent the entire time, every turn.
It's so consistent that 3 people decided to bring it this past weekend. On top of
this was soul crushing, by the way.
I say to be fair, one of them did play it also last week along with Nick.
Going on the Syn Shenron deck, I don't know that there's really anything spicy in it. It's just a solid list that I've been playing and kind of micro tweaking here and there. The really strong aspect behind this list is you get to awaken turn 1, turn 2, really whenever you want to. Just as long as you see 2 to 3 balls in your opening hand, you're pretty much going to guaranteed awaken turn 2. I could have pushed that Awaken off and not played that Nova Shenron out, but I wanted to go ahead and get a board established before I have to worry about counterplays, before I have to worry about tapping and KOing effects. I wanted to go ahead and just try to get a board established.
Yeah. And I want to point out real quick, this build is a build that actually was released, I think on Sunday. So if you haven't check it out there. I don't know if you put your sideboard on that video.
No, I didn't go over the sideboard in that video because the sideboard is constant. The big thing that I'm constantly changing.
So what do you remember if you saw anything in this for this particular matchup by any chance?
I did. I took it's probably a mistake. Because in my head I was thinking, based on the way that I play Ape Goku, it's a lot of 15k swings and then a couple 25k swings. So I ended up taking out the Violent Rays and putting in Dragon Thunder, and then I took out a Crown of Retribution and I put in the Pan Trunks Goku that'll go under the Unison and play itself out, just so I can clear the field if I need to, and then poke into the leader and pressure the leader that way.
Yeah, against yellow, triple attack is very often better than something like triple strike.
Yeah. The one thing that I kind of knew, and just based on Jake's play style, if Jake gets an opportunity to go after that Unison, I'm not going to have a Unison. So it was probably stupid to put in that Goku Trunks Pan, just knowing Jake's overall play style. So that was probably a mistake. The Dragon's Thunder would have been monumental at multiple points during the game, but I didn't see them. I sided 3 in and didn't see them.
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate a card you never draw.
Yeah.
So I brought in a few pieces out of the board, but we'll anything that's relevant, we'll just go into as it comes up.
Yeah. The big thing here is just try to before you're awakened, going ahead and get those hits in before you have your blockers established. If I can get you down to that, 4 to 3 life before you get a bunch of blockers established, I feel like my ability to close out the game increases slightly in my favor. But once you start boarding blockers and things like that, it's going to be this ever-present difficult time to try to get through tier leader.
That's interesting because from my perspective, one of the things that I fear the most when playing Ape Goku is getting starved out at 6 life, especially when you have the ability, when you Z-Awaken, to just drop 2 triple strikers in the same turn.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy to take these hits and go down to 5 and be able to be in Frieza's army reinforcement range. And then, just like you said, I'm just pressuring the unison when and where I can.
I don't know, and that's really one of the things with Ape Goku that I've noticed is it's really hard to starve that deck out. Because the unison is a +2 every turn, and you're boarding blocker after blocker after blocker, and then these apes just gain a ton of value on the field. And so, like, here, you're just shotgunning my unison down. There's nothing that I can do to stop that.
And I kind of wasted a potential point of damage there to try and dodge Wolfang. Because if you Wolfang this lands unknown, it's going to be like a pretty big tempo swing, especially after I just tapped out to go into that turn. And I'm even leaving it in active mode just because I've been pretty focused on resource denial this game, and I don't really see a need to push you to 6, especially since you're already awakened.
I don't actually main Wolfang, and I don't side it either.
It's the existence of that card made me play that turn differently.
Yeah. And maybe I could play Wolfang in the list. I know that like every game this night, I ended up siding out of Violent Rays. And this was the only game that I wished I kind of had it.
Yeah, that's a really potent card in shutting this deck down because you could just hold on to it until they've evolved all of their Kidkus, and now they're just stuck on big dumb apes that can't even turn sideways. And like if you're playing Red Gogeta or something, you don't even care that they have blocker because you're just going to kill them all anyway.
Yeah. I want to kind of point out, without giving any type of spoiler, there's a lot of members of the community right now that think that Syn Shenron is this overly oppressive deck. And I want to just kind of take the opportunity here to point out that I spent 3 energy on 2 dragons, and I basically had them neutered. So the Syn Shenron got tapped by Prideful Transformation. The Omega Shenron got blocked by Prideful Transformation, and the only card that I could neg out on his field without losing Omega or Sen was the Prideful Transformation itself. Because the Goku and the Yamcha had barrier. If I KO the ape comes in, the ape's effect comes in, and he gets to play Explosive Spirit again.
And then it would just pop your Omega.
And then it would just pop the Omega anyway.
So, like, not knowing that I had a Turles in hand, you made, like, the best play you could possibly make right there.
Yeah, and then losing them to Turles completely tilted me in this match. Because now I'm stuck without a Sen, I'm stuck without an Omega. And not that, like, they're crutches. Like, I have the ability to pivot into, like, a 15k spam. But it's just so tilting.
Yeah, and you spent all of your energy on that play as well.
Yeah. And I'm basically just taking damage here, so I don't have to. So I can try to get some of the pieces back that I lost, hoping that they're in my life. So the deck is definitely, I wouldn't call Syn oppressive. Syn is just a solid aggro control deck. I don't believe that this deck is on the level of something like turn 2 King Vegeta.
No, that was disgusting. Like if you I've never seen a Syn player kill somebody before turn 3, and if you can get all the way until turn 3, just depending on what your deck has, there's a pretty solid chance you can get out of just about any push.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed. It's just all about knowing the game, knowing the deck that you're playing against. And you've played Syn Shenron, so you have that match knowledge.
Yeah, that helped a lot in this game.
And I've played Ape Goku. I have it built. It's sitting in my deck box. But there's literally nothing that I can do about what you're establishing on the field. So I board the Syn, and then I go on ahead and board the Nova, and I think I put out an Ice as well here. The Syn doesn't get his full value unless he has another dragon on the field to KO.
And both of these are just such great targets.
Yeah. And I am thinking that like I am kind of leaving myself susceptible to Black Kamehameha. And I think one way that I might have changed the way I did this turn is to play the Ice and Nova first. So play one swing, play one swing, play one swing. That could have been a better order of sequencing and not left me open to cards like Black Power Kamehameha or even this Goku.
So this is one of the pieces I brought in out of the sideboard. Just with the high marker total on my Unison just throughout the game, just by the nature of having a +2, I felt like this was a pretty good choice. Especially getting to draw and rest and remove something if it's 5-drop or less. It rests anything, I think, that doesn't have barrier. So even if you can't KO the card that you rest, it's just a really solid negate.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with it overall this weekend. I'm probably going to leave it in the sideboard.
Yeah, it again, it neutered the effectiveness of that Syn. You mentioned your Unison. Based on the field as it is present here, I can't really afford to go after your Bulma, but I know that Goku on the field is a huge tempo position for you. So I have to try to get that Goku off the field.
Yeah, if you kill this guy, my apes pretty much end up being way too expensive to evolve into and just kind of rot in my hand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and do my best to protect this Goku if I can, just because it's that integral to my game plan. And especially getting the opportunity to put a little extra gas in the Z energy helped a little bit here as well.
Yeah.
As a reminder, because I'm not 100% familiar with the leader. What is Syn's activate main? I know you neg one of your cards. Do you neg one of your opponent's cards as well or not?
No,
any card.
It's any battle card or Unison on the field.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can neg out your 2 dragons, play them back, get their effects. And because his field is all barrier or over that 15,000, it doesn't make sense to put that negative 15,000 into any of his cards.
Yeah, you could put it into the ape and then swing at it, but I think you made a better play overall.
I can't remember. Can the apes evolve on top of Unbreakable Will here?
Yeah, they just need a Goku childhood.
It's
so
just
honestly,
Goku childhood, yeah.
They could evolve on top of each other as well, which is a play
Yeah.
line I haven't taken yet.
And I mean, I'm just getting basically at every opportunity that I've had to kind of make a push or do anything like that, you've basically just said no, sorry. I could have put those single strikes into your leader, but they don't really do anything at that point because your hand was sizable enough that I know that you just combo out of those.
Yeah, I probably would take the damage from Nova, and that would have put me at 3, and then probably combo out of ice. And then from there, I can Z Awaken. So honestly, that would have just been good for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're keeping an energy tap down for my next turn. That is assuming I even get to my next turn here. I think I'm at 2 life here.
I've been pretty careful to not put you at exactly 3 because I know how powerful the Z Awaken is on Syn. And that's what kind of like you were talking about earlier, where my matchup knowledge here really like helped me navigate my play lines throughout the game.
Yeah. And like I said, I've got those play lines, but there's just nothing that I can do in response to what you did. You killed my Unison super early. You did a fantastic job of keeping the field clear, of tapping things as they were coming in, utilizing your blockers appropriately, protecting key pieces on your field as best as you could. There's just nothing that I could really have done. I mean, there's a few little things that I could have probably tweaked and done differently. It's just the quality of cards that you saw versus the quality of cards that I saw were light years apart. You had every answer, and then I think my hand is mostly Novas, Oceanus, and Ice. And I might have a couple Unisons in there too. Like I could have reboarded a Unison.
Yeah. Yeah, just drawing all of your Novas and all of your Ices looks like at this stage just probably didn't feel very good.
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. Hoping to get like a Dragon Thunder or something to boost my leader up to 25,000 for the turn, or seeing 2 of them and taking my leader to 30,000 for the turn would have just been so much better than just drawing Ice and Nova over and over again. Which happens. I mean, you know, it seems like that the Omega Shenrons in this deck for me tend to float towards the bottom or in my life.
Yeah,
so
here I'm just alpha striking, going out with everything.
Yeah, I basically when you combo 2, I was like searching for your double striker, and you said yeah, and then you started comboing out your hand. I was like, you found it, didn't you? I was like, that's game.
Yeah, I had it in hand when you said, "Are you searching?" But I was just trying to get as tall as possible.
Yeah.
So with that, thank y'all for joining today. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below. Comments, you know, they're there for a reason. Fluff, would you lead us out?
Yep. This is a perfect example of why I don't think Syn is an oppressive deck. Is it the best deck in the format? Yes, I think it's probably overall nearish the best deck in the format. Because it does have a relatively good match against most decks going forward. But as you just saw here, it is possible with match knowledge to perfectly counter the deck. So as always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, fluff out.